Welcome to Kentucky Football Nation. Let's take a look at Game 5 for the 2025 season. On October the 4th, we will travel to Georgia to play. Before we talk about that game, let's talk about last year. Last year's game, we played them about as well as you can play them, and we blew a chance to beat them. Thanks to our coach. I don't know what he was thinking. We lost 13-12. You guys know the story. 4 minutes left. We're at the 50-yard line. We punt the ball back to them, somehow thinking that, even if we use our timeouts and they use a minute or two, we're only going to have a minute, 2 minutes left. So anyway, stupid thing to do. One of the dumbest things Mark Stoops has ever done. I wish he would have went for it. We all wish he would have went for it. If he wouldn't have got it, fine. But if he would have got it, could kick the field goal and maybe have beaten Georgia. It was our best chance. Going down there and beating them guys. How many home games do they lose? Especially at home SEC games. They don't lose very often at home. So it's going to be a tall order to go down there. But how did we do last year in that game, you say? Well, last year's game, Georgia had 262 yards of offense. We had 284 yards of offense. They had 160 yards passing and 102 yards rushing. We had 102 yards passing and 170 yards rushing. We wasted 170 yards rushing. What a performance. First downs, guys. Georgia only had 12 first downs. We had 23. Total plays ran. They only ran 54 plays. We ran 73. You look at the stats, we had our chance. We blew it. So what can you say? All right, let's talk about this year. Georgia Bulldogs have the number 2 recruiting class. They have 8 of the top 50 players, and they are ranked number 2 in the power ranking behind Texas. We are ranked 35th, which is ahead of Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Louisville, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, last year on offense, Georgia averaged 32 points a game. They averaged 405 yards per game. They averaged 281 yards passing and 124 yards rushing, which was 51st total offense. So they struggled a little bit. Normally they would rush for more than 124 yards a game. Their defense was 30th in total defense. They gave up 329 yards per game. They gave up 200 passing yards per game and 129 yards rushing per game. I mean, it's not awful. The top 30 is a good defense. But once again, Carson Beck got hurt, and then Gunnar Stockton, that's the new quarterback. If you haven't seen the video, I just did a video on watching tape of Gunnar Stockton. Now, the only thing we could watch was the Notre Dame game because that's the only game he really played in. He only played sparingly. But we do go back and watch that. If you haven't seen my Gunnar Stockton video, I just posted that. Go back and watch that. He had 440 yards passing last year, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did complete 70% of his passes, which is excellent. This is his 4th year at Georgia, so he's been in the system. Like I said in the video, I mean, he's not stellar at anything. Like, he's not the fastest guy. He's not the biggest guy. He doesn't have the best arm, but he does everything well. I mean, so he runs well enough. He throws well enough. He can manage a game, and with Georgia's defense, he can win. They added 3 wide receivers, which they needed. They added Micah Bell from Vandy, Zachariah Branch from USC, and Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. They also added 2 tight ends and 1 running back, Josh McCray from Illinois, who's a pretty decent running back. So they did add some offensive, which they needed, which they did the same thing we did. They realized, hey, we need some offensive players, and they went and got them. Last year, they were 39% offensively on third downs, which is, it's not great, but it's not bad. They were in third and long way too much. Yes, I went and watched one of their podcasts. Well, more than one of their podcasts. And that was one of the complaints. That and fans dislike offensive coordinator Mike Bobo for a lot of reasons. They don't like his play calling. They don't like Georgia's not scoring enough. It's not a sexy offense. So they don't like it that they were in third and long too much. And Mike Bobo's, not popular at all. Let's talk about their defense. They have a questionable secondary this year due to losses of players, So their backups are moving up to starters. So they didn't go get a lot of people out of the portal. So their backups must be good if they're moving up to starters. So we'll see how that goes. So they allowed 20 points per game, which was 23rd nationally. I mistaken. They did bring in one big time safety, Zion Branch from USC. So they did bring in one. Their defensive line, solid. Linebacking core, solid. They are playing a lot of younger players and underclassmen, as we just said. And the front seven must prove itself. Much like us, our front seven, they're worried about their front seven just because they're young and inexperienced, much like we are. Some of our front seven is inexperienced, or our linebackers. So yes, their defense is not. I don't know how good. Maybe by the time they get to us, game 5, we'll see. I don't think we're coming off of a bye before that, so we play the game before that. So their schedule, they have 2 games before us, at Tennessee and Alabama at home. Okay, so it's the 6th game of the year for us. So yeah, playing at Tennessee and at Alabama. Hey, maybe they'll overlook us. You never know. But it's Kirby Smart, and Kirby Smart is a good coach, and Georgia's always solid. I don't know. They're number 2 in the power ranking, so somebody knows something. Like I said, a top recruiting class. Look, going down there and winning, it's a tall order for anybody to go down there and win. I don't know who they lost to at home last. I can't think of their last SEC home loss. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. But we had our shot last year and we blew it. So I don't know what we can do this year. We got the 4th hardest schedule in the SEC. So nobody's going to cry for us. Like I said, Mark Stoops is already fired in most people's minds. So this is just a formality. We're going to play this out and see. But you know what? Before I get off here, we always play Georgia close. Much like Ole Miss, we always seem to hang in there. Let's hang around and see what we can do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, and you're watching this, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the first game of the season. If this is your first time on my channel, I have a shorts portion of my channel where I post shorts on Kentucky football players and some basketball players. All right, we'll preview game 6 next, which will be Texas. Thanks for watching.